Hey everyone, Hannah here from Sheet Leveler. Today we're going to master one of Excel's most powerful modern functions, XLOOKUP. This function has revolutionized how we search for and retrieve data in Excel, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know to use it effectively. Let's get started. Version compatibility. Before we dive in, let me quickly mention which Excel versions support XLOOKUP. I'm working in Microsoft Excel as part of Microsoft 365, which fully supports this function. Important compatibility note: XLOOKUP will not work in Excel 2016 or Excel 2019. However, it is available in Excel 2021 and all Microsoft 365 subscriptions. If you're using an older version, you'll need to stick with VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, which I have separate tutorials for on the channel. The sample data, vertical lookup. All right, let me show you what we're working with. On the left side of my spreadsheet, I have a list of client names in column A, along with their corresponding order amounts in column B. On the right side, I have a different selection of client names that I need to populate with their matching order amounts. Now, I could certainly do this manually. For instance, I can see this client name here on the left, and the same client name over here on the right, so I could just type in the dollar amount. But who has time for that? And more importantly, what if we had hundreds or thousands of rows? Manual entry would be completely impractical. This is exactly the scenario where XLOOKUP becomes invaluable. If you'd like to follow along with this exact workbook, I've included a download link in the description below this video. I always recommend practicing along with me for the best learning experience. Building your first XLOOKUP formula. Let me walk you through creating your first XLOOKUP formula step by step. I'll click in the cell where I want my results to appear. Starting the formula. To begin any formula, type an equal sign. Then type the function name. XLOOKUP. Now, by convention, function names are typically written in uppercase letters, but Excel actually doesn't care. Lowercase works perfectly fine too. I'll use uppercase for clarity. Next, type an open parenthesis. As soon as you do this, Excel displays a helpful pop-up showing the parameters you need to provide to make the function work. Let me explain what parameters are. They're the pieces of information the function needs. A parameter can be a simple value like a number, or it can be a reference to a cell or a range of cells. Parameter 1. Lookup value. This is the value we're trying to find or match. In our case, we're trying to match on the client name. For this particular row, we need to find this specific client. So I'll click on that cell containing the client name. Notice that Excel automatically inserts a cell reference into the formula for me. Parameter 2. Lookup array. Next, type a comma to move to the second parameter. Now we need something called lookup array. This is the list of possible values that we're searching through to find our lookup value. The client names we're searching through are all located in column A, so I'll click and drag to select all the client names in column A. Excel adds another reference to the formula in the formula bar above. The next parameter is return array. The return array is directly related to the lookup array. Here's what it means. Once we find our client name in column A, what value from what other column do we want to return? Looking at our data, that return value should be the order amount from column B. So I'll select all the order amounts in column B. Optional parameters. Now you might notice something interesting about the remaining parameters in the pop-up. They have square brackets around them. This means that they are optional and do not need to be entered. However, let me take you through each optional parameter so you understand what's possible and when you might want to use them. Parameter 4. If not found, press comma again to access the next parameter. And it asks you to provide a value to display if the lookup value can't be found in the lookup array. For example, if a client name doesn't exist in our list, what should we display? 0 is often a good option for numerical data, so I'll type 0. Parameter 5. Match mode. Let's press comma again to get to match mode. Match mode describes how Excel should match your lookup value against every item in the lookup array. You have several options. A or omitted. Exact match. This is the default and what we'll use. 1. Exact match or next smaller item, alphabetically or numerically. 1 seats. Exact match or next larger item, alphabetically or numerically. Wildcard character match. You can use question marks and asterisks. There's even more advanced matching using regular expressions, but that's beyond the scope of today's tutorial. We'll stick with the default exact match by typing 0. Parameter 6. Search mode. The final parameter is the search mode, which has 2 primary uses. Use number 1. When you want to search in reverse order, last to first instead of first to last. For example, if you needed to find the last occurrence of a client name in column A instead of the first one, you'd set this parameter to -1. Use number 2. Binary search options. Honestly, you shouldn't even worry about these unless your XLOOKUP is running very slowly. If you do encounter performance issues, you'd need to sort your lookup array data first, and then use one of the binary search options. For our purposes, we could stick with the default value of 1, but just to demonstrate that this parameter is truly optional, I'm going to delete the comma I just typed and simply close the function with an end parenthesis. Close parenthesis. Committing the formula. Finally, press Enter to commit the formula. And there you go. You just retrieved all that information dynamically using XLOOKUP. The correct order amount appeared automatically based on the client name match. Just using the insert function helper. Here's a quick tip that will save you time in the future. If you ever forget what any of these function parameters do, there's a built-in helper. Click on the cell containing your XLOOKUP formula, then look up at the formula bar and click on the FX icon that appears just to the left of the formula. This opens the Insert Function Helper dialog. When you click into any parameter field, also called arguments in this dialog, you can read a detailed description of that parameter at the bottom of the window. Additionally, on the right side, you can see the actual values being used for each parameter, which is incredibly helpful for troubleshooting when formulas aren't working as expected. Since we've already covered this in detail, I'll click Cancel to close the helper. Copying the formula down. Now let's address how to apply this formula to the rest of our cells. We need to copy it down to fill in all the other order amounts. To copy the formula efficiently, look at the bottom right corner of the cell. You'll see a small square handle. Double-click on that drag handle, and Excel automatically fills the formula down to all adjacent cells. It worked. But did it work correctly? Let's check. Notice these green flags appearing in the top left corners of some cells. That's Excel's way of warning us about a potential issue. Click on the warning icon to see what's wrong. It says Formula omits adjacent cells. Let me explain what this means in plain English. Double-click on one of the cells further down. Let's say this one here. We've now moved 2 rows down from where we originally created the formula. Here's the problem. All of our cell references moved down 2 rows as well because they're relative references. The cells we're inadvertently omitting are actually some of the client names at the top of our lookup array. Let me demonstrate the problem. If I try to look up a client name that should be in our data, I get 0, our fallback value, instead of the correct dollar amount. The formula can't find the client because our lookup array has shifted and no longer includes all the client names. We need to fix this. Double-click on the cell containing the original formula, the very first one we created. We need to lock our lookup array and return array so they don't shift when the formula is copied. Here's the quick way to do that. Select the lookup array reference by double-clicking on it in the formula. Then press F4 on your keyboard. Watch what happens. Excel adds $signs to the cell reference. The dollar signs mean the reference is now absolute or locked, so it won't change when the formula is copied. We need to do the same thing with the return array. Double-click on the return array reference in the formula, then press F4. Now both our lookup array and return array are locked with dollar signs. Press Enter to commit the corrected formula. Filling down again. Now let's fill down the formula one more time. Double-click on that drag handle in the bottom right corner. Perfect. This time it works flawlessly. No error flags, and if we check the values, they're all correct. Each client name is now matched with the proper order amount. Horizontal lookup with XLOOKUP. Now you know how to use XLOOKUP for a vertical lookup, searching down through rows. But here's something powerful. You can use XLOOKUP to perform a horizontal lookup as well, searching across columns. Let me show you an example of this. The second dataset. Click on the second worksheet tab, labelled Order History. This time our data is structured completely differently. We have client names as column headers across the top, and months as row headers down the side. The intersection of each row and column contains order amounts. Now I'd love to guarantee that in the real world, your data will always be organised with row headers on the left. But the truth is, data can be incredibly messy. You'll encounter it organised in all sorts of ways. Let's use XLOOKUP to retrieve all the prices from May, but this time we'll do it from a different worksheet to show you cross-sheet references. Setting up the horizontal lookup. Click on the May Prices worksheet tab. I'll position my cursor in cell B2, and we'll build this formula together. Start with an equals sign, equals. Then the function name. XLOOKUP. Open parenthesis. Lookup value, horizontal. First parameter. What's the lookup value? In this case, we're looking for a client name, and it's the column header. So I'll click on cell B1, lookup array, horizontal. Next parameter. What's the lookup array? Well, we need to go to the other worksheet to see it. Type a comma, then click on the Order History worksheet tab. The lookup array consists of all the column headers, so I'll click and drag to select all the client names across the top row. Notice that your formula remains active in the formula bar at the top. Excel is still building the formula even though you switched worksheets. Return array, horizontal. Type a comma to move to the next parameter. Now we need the return array. Those are the May prices. I'll select all the values in row 6, which contains May's data. Completing the formula. We'll use the default values for the optional parameters, so I'll simply type a closing parenthesis. Close parenthesis. Press Enter to commit the ages formula. Great! We successfully retrieved the first value. But do you remember what we still need to do? Locking references for horizontal copy. We need to lock the lookup array and return array so they don't shift when we copy the formula horizontally. Click back into the cell with our formula. Select the lookup array reference and press F4 to lock it with dollar signs. Then select the return array reference and press F4 to lock it as well. Press Enter to commit the updated formula one final time. Copying horizontally. Now, click on the cell to select it. Notice the drag handle in the bottom right corner. This time, instead of double-clicking, click and hold. Then drag to the right to fill the formula across all the columns. Release the mouse, and there you have it. All the May prices are now filled in correctly for every client, pulled dynamically from the Order History worksheet. Practice makes perfect. I encourage you to download the practice workbook from the description and try building these formulas yourself. The best way to learn XLOOKUP is through hands-on practice. Try creating scenarios with different data types, experiment with the optional parameters, and practice both vertical and horizontal lookups until it becomes second nature. And there you have it, a complete guide to using XLOOKUP in Excel. This function is incredibly powerful and will save you countless hours once you master it. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope you found it helpful and that you're excited to start using XLOOKUP in your own spreadsheets. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to Sheet Leveler for more Excel tutorials. When you subscribe, click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post new content. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.